Hey, I just wanted to confess something, and it's a little embarrassing to confess this as a coach, but one of my coaches helped me see yesterday that I've been completely unwilling to transform. Like, I complain about things, and I'm unwilling to actually do the inner work of transforming myself to have them be new. And as confronting as that was, it actually was so liberating too, because I could finally tell the truth, you know? And the truth is, like, I have a default ego pattern. I've had it my whole life where I feel so strongly like I need to be like impressive and successful and accomplished. And that's how I earn people's love. Like, if they just admire me enough, then they'll love me. And I always joke it's like a transformational nightmare when you realize it's like the same thing you've actually worked through so many times before. But when my life gets difficult, that's the default. Like that's right where I go, and what's underneath that really is like just a scared little boy who's like desperate for approval, and it feels unsafe to be messy and to be authentic and to be open and to share the kind of weak parts of myself, the messy parts, the challenges, the fears, the traumas, like all of that stuff. And I'll never forget my first experience with transformation when I finally said this out loud, like in a group of people, and I admitted my fears. I admitted that I'm just obsessed with impressing people and how lonely I was, because the truth is when I'm doing that, people can't connect with me. It's it's like a shield. It's an ineffective way of fulfilling on what I truly want, which is to feel loving connection with people. And so as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh my God, I could finally be free of it. Like I can finally, by admitting that I've been unwilling to transform and I've been choosing this old default pattern, then something new becomes possible. Then I realize like what's underneath that, like what's true for me is I just love people profoundly. Like I really do. I love coaching and transformational work because of what it's done for me, because it liberates me, because it allows me to be fully myself. It's allowed me to build the life of my dreams. Like every once in a while when I can pull my head out of my butt, I look around and I'm like, oh my God, this is the life I've always like really imagined, having beautiful, healthy children and great marriage and, you know, being successful. Not always, it kind of goes like this, which is hard for my ego to deal with, because when it dips is when I go to this kind of you know, um, egoic pattern plays, because I don't feel whole. I don't feel safe. I don't know. It's interesting. I'm like, to be honest with you, I'm still kind of in the discovery process. I almost didn't post this video because I'm like, well, I haven't transformed this all the way. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to get on here and be really honest and be really authentic, because that's where I find so much joy and peace and freedom in being that and creating that space for people. Like one of my gifts is to create a space of authenticity where people feel safe to walk through some of this darker, deeper, scary, messy, clumsy stuff. And yeah, and I just wanted to share, like, I don't claim to be like completely transformed or having arrived anywhere. I'm in messy, anxious, ADHD, very dramatic, if you ask my poor wife. But I do know how to create a space for people to go through this process, and it's not like I've arrived somewhere and I want to show you the way. And I just want to apologize if that comes across sometimes in my social media posts, because it's not authentic. Like we're all humans, we're all light and shadow, and I'm committed to being honest and exposing my shadow even more and exposing my own fears and insecurities. And the truth is, like, I've struggled with mental health during this pandemic more than I ever have in my life. Like things have been pretty difficult at times, and I kind of tone it down because I'm like, well, I can't show people the messiest part of me, or that they'll be concerned or something. But I'm like, whatever. Yeah, I've had to like learn to humble myself and just ask for help, and it's been amazing. Like when I stop and ask for help, like I'm able to be reborn as a new person, and that's what I'm doing. I'm going through an identity transformation, which is like, blah, it's so messy. It's so ugly and terrifying, and like there's tears and even vomit sometimes because it's so intense. But what I'm so committed to, just telling the truth and seeing this process through, and actually being reborn, to be remade, to be whole. And I think as coaches, and in probably other careers too, we have to learn what we teach on deeper and deeper and deeper levels. And like I learned it on a certain level, and now I'm learning it on like a whole new like level of like being. It's so messy. But so all that to say, like, just join me. I actually lowered my price points to make them more accessible because I want to help people go through this process. And if you can relate to what I'm saying, like if it feels like you're going through an identity process, like let's just do it together. Let's work together. Let's support each other. And I've got like I said, 3 different programs at varying price points. And I'd love to just talk with you and see which one might be a fit. If it resonates, which one feels supportive for you, and yeah, and just kind of walk through this journey together. I mean, that's why I started this business in the first place, just to do exactly that. So, all right, schedule a free consult with me. I'll put the link in the comments, and I hope to talk to you soon. Love you. Bye.